evening, folks. This is Lila with some bedtime stories that I'd like to share with you. With me is our dear friend Dean Val, and also our very good friend Tim von Pinnon. And we have a very special new friend, Rihanna. And I'll be reading from the book 6, Your Dream Visions, by Duane, the great writer. We'll discuss the chapter and then ask you folks to please answer some questions after the reading. So, okay, here we go, book 6. Your Dream Visions. There are a lot of movies about pesky, invisible entities and possessions, which gives a good indication of where a lot of people are headed, even more than they know are now. The hardcore, rancid music of today, and all that is demonstrated with it, is a tap line connection for all those involved in the lower astral demons. I am not writing a commentary here, but an actuality of what has and is already occurring. And so, for those people who choose to align themselves with certain aspects of the lowest forms of life, their dreams will be more nightmares than pleasantries. There's a huge and vast scale of experiences for all of us, from the most unimaginable horrors to the greatest of lighted realms and universes. And each one of us has the advantage and opportunity to do so much better for ourselves. I would say that certain movies can be a very good objective view for one to see what this world is into. But the fact of a lot of people are becoming fans and worshiping movie stars and political people, that's absurd, because then a person can actually give themselves over to huge and unseen negative influences that they will have to work through, possibly for lifetimes. The real guides teach us to be independent, individualized, and free from darkness. So what could actually be better than recognizing oneself as light? It's not hard to see that the human history has evolved, and how the rep systems, and mainly the Central Church, have played the biggest role in the implementation of society's nightly dreams. And so we see why, with all the reference to dreams in the Holy Bible, no one really wants to speak up about a person's dreams today, because it would soon be realized and found out what the belief systems have done and are still doing to most of the unaware population. One does not have to be the great Inspector Clouseau to figure out what is really taking place with the idea of God and the devil. If man's God is all-powerful as people want to believe, then why is it God allows the devil and his evil to exist, unless they are one and the same? Scary thought for most people as they stand on this little floating rock in space and look up at the sky and wonder who is really in control. In book 4, The Adventures of Rebazar Tars, I lay out a great and fun scenario of people experiencing the adventure to learn from as I expose the real identity of the greatest deceptor of all. But of course, like the movie Rosemary's Baby, most people will think it's all science fiction until they begin to experience it for themselves. I'm not here to scare people, but what I am presenting as the rep systems have done an excellent job of intimidating and scaring and destroying people's lives all along. My position is to show people where they have been and what they are presently involved with, along with what they have come to know, and those who are willing to take the risk and lead them to the real guidance and the real freedom. The four other bodies of man are not at all known to those of the social orders. What a person learns from their parents is the first 5 years or so. This sets the stage for the rest of their lives, as it can make a person strong or weak, stupid or unaware, or brilliant and perceptive. But the real secrets of life are never taught, but caught by a receptive awareness, as most parents usually have real connection to the true reality, but only to be on the invented systems of man. As a young child develops their other bodies emotionally, memory, mental, and subconscious, they become set into motion on their own accordingly, which is more like a machine that has been turned on to run its course. This then becomes a situation of sorts. Unknown influences, which are not for the most part understood by the personal consciousness itself, because most people have no idea what real guidance and real education is. They are at the mercy of not only the outside world of others' creations, they are walking in the dark when it comes to the open and endless vastness of other dimensions and realms that they're tied to. The memory body already has the seeds of passivities with it, and as it enters each new life and the individual unaware of these effects by the past, as they have to deal with what is so hidden from them, these become the karmic patterns of a person's life, which are understood by very few. The personal convictions one is taught with while they are young will generally last with them for their entire life. Even if they were in a situation to be brainwashed, it would be almost certain that they would hold to their former upbringing. The earth itself has a consciousness and is alive, which social humans know nothing about. The superpowers of this world look to their technology as their strength, not realizing that there is so much more in their environment than what meets the eye. Do you have any comments on this? Jim or Ariana?
Well, you said
Sure.
that the older person is stuck in their consciousness, so that's too bad. It's going to be difficult to present the new you presentation to them.
It seems like it's very important that the young people on Earth right now are given this real guidance and real education about the new presentation. And especially as soon as they're starting to find out about life in this world, whether that's at 2 years old up through 5, it seems like what Dwayne's saying there is that's very important, how we teach the children right now on Earth, or reveal to them the real education and the real guidance.
Yes,
I guess that's part of the home school.
Yes, it is. And then also, Lila, you mentioned movie stars, and that reminded me of a Facebook post I saw today about this big climate change meeting they're having in Europe. It's sponsored by the CEOs of Google, I believe. They're inviting all the elites, like Obama, Zuckerberg, Leonardo DiCaprio, a lot of big names, movie stars and politicians. Climate change is a theme. And guess what? It costs, you have to get yourself there, but after that, he will take care of the people. It's estimated to cost $20 million for the event. So what could $20 million do in Africa, say? It's beyond ridiculous. And these people they're flying their private jets, the big yachts to get there. There's a lot of money being spent that, what makes sense? Could this money be spent as an aid to help others that are disadvantaged in some way? Also, they're demonstrating the old technology, private jets, yachts. I mean, they could be, with all the money they have, they could be developing new technology, clean technology. It's out there. People could, especially the elites, have access to this. If they really do care about the environment, they could demonstrate their travel to this event by traveling via some, new technology that would not harm the Earth. But as far as I know, nobody's doing that. So this is just a clear demonstration of what doesn't make sense, but it's in the disguise of, like, they're trying, supposedly helping the planet or figuring out what to do with it. Let's see what they figure out, because it doesn't look good.
Yes. Even the great geniuses of this world cannot have what nature will have for itself, as there are natural unseen forces at work which care for the earth and do not want to destroy it by stupid humans. Atlantis was perhaps the greatest civilization ever on this planet, yet it disappeared as nature had the final say. Today, the earth is standing to strike back, you might say. It will do whatever it must to offset all the pollution and disregard for it. Many would think it is the gods of man, but this is not true, as the gods cannot interfere, as they would then be responsible to the lords of karma. The gods can influence mankind, but that's about it. The influence, which is the hidden head of the three-headed Kaloon god, plays the biggest role in all that is taking place, with all the corruption and conspiracy from the rep systems, as she weaves her way into the hearts and the minds of people, because they want it so. Most people have determined it is their gods doing all the right and wrong on the earth. But this isn't so, because somewhere in the dark and misty past, humans decide to be anointed and unseen forces as our worshipped ideas. And so the gods became personified according to the creative minds of the time and to live on to this very day. All countries have their idea of their gods, and all of them are of a dualistic nature. And so as humans determine their fate with what they've made their agreements to with these deities, a secretion of sorts take place, thus becoming the overall controlling factor, which comes gasoline for their cars, but didn't really realize the effects of carbon monoxide poisoning. The influence is the same, only more so, as a living reality created by humans. What is physically seen from the eyes of humans is a sea of creative phenomena, which has been built from the dirt passed upon personal agreement. The human mind side sees what it wants to be true for itself and will make it even if it has to, what it sees does not agree with it. The basic idea is boy meets girl, and if the girl, as an example, is not interested, then the mind side of the male will go to work and try and make the situation according to what it desires, sees, and wants. This can be a fun adventure for the two people involved, or it can become a nightmare for both. It just depends upon the egos of the two. In the real universes of real light, there is no need of anything because everyone has the same opportunity for whatever they want. And so this is where the educational systems have completely failed those who took and looked to them for instruction when it comes to the best understanding of life that one can get. It is true, they do deserve and serve a function, but one that is very temporary. And when the person has been educated accordingly at some point in their life's experience, they are left without any real experience and direction as provided by the real gods.